Lisbon, in the 18th century, presents itself as a vibrant canvas where every corner tells a story, every street resonates with voices from the past. Walking through its cobbled streets, one can feel the pulse of a city that lives in constant movement. The vendors shout their offers, mixing their voices with the aroma of freshly baked bread and grilled fish being cooked in the open air. The sound of the waves crashing against the docks echoes in the hearts of those who have been there for generations, and the sea breeze brings with it memories of times past. Lisbon's Baroque architecture, with its majestic buildings and detailed facades, stands as witness to the history and splendor of a golden age. The streets are full of life, where rich and poor coexist, albeit in very different worlds. The merchants, with their fine clothes and satisfied faces, walk with firm steps towards the market, whilst the fishermen, with calloused hands and tired gazes, return from a day of arduous work at sea. These everyday interactions reveal a delicate balance between social classes, a reflection of the complexity of life in Lisbon. On every corner, one can find scenes that evoke the essence of Lisbon life. A group of children plays in the street, their laughter resonating like a cheerful melody amidst the bustle. The women, with their headscarves, exchange gossip whilst hanging out the washing to dry, and the men, seated in taverns, enjoy a glass of vinho verde whilst discussing politics and commerce. Daily life intertwines with stories of love and heartbreak, of dreams and aspirations that weave into the fabric of the city. This vibrant atmosphere is not only the product of the interaction between its inhabitants, but also of the rich cultural heritage that Lisbon has cultivated over the years. The influence of various artistic and philosophical currents has left its mark on the way people live and relate to their environment. As one walks through the streets, one can hear the echo of traditional music mixing with the melancholic singing of fado, a musical style that was born from the depths of the Portuguese soul. Lisbon, with its golden light and welcoming atmosphere, feels like a living organism, where every person plays an essential role in its collective history. The old buildings are not just stone structures, they are repositories of memories, stories waiting to be told. Every crack in the wall and every worn tile whispers secrets of a past full of life and teachings. As one ventures into the city, one can feel the weight of the history that surrounds it. The Catholic religion, deeply rooted in Lisbon's culture, manifests itself in the numerous churches that dot the urban landscape. The bells ring frequently, marking the passage of time and reminding the faithful of the importance of prayer and devotion. However, alongside these religious rites, one also finds superstitions and popular rituals that add an intriguing nuance to the lives of Lisbon's inhabitants. People cling to their beliefs, seeking comfort in the spiritual and protection against the unknown. The fear of the invisible, of death and punishment, looms over the city like a shadow. Many turn to the saints in search of relief and guidance, whilst others participate in ancestral rituals, hoping that their traditions will protect them from adversity. This search for the sacred reveals a deep connection with the past, a yearning to understand the purpose of existence, and the role of each individual in the grand scheme of life. As the sun begins to set over the horizon, the city transforms. The lights of the street lamps flicker, and the atmosphere changes. Lisbon watches in silence as generations pass, each leaving its mark, each contributing to the narrative that is woven with time. The stories of love, loss, struggle, and triumph interweave in the fabric of the city, creating a rich tapestry of human experiences. Life in Lisbon is not just a parade of everyday events. Tragedies and historical moments have also left their mark. From wars to natural catastrophes, every event has shaped the destiny of the city, creating a sense of resilience that is felt in the air. The collective memory of Lisbon feeds on these challenges, turning it into a place where every stone and every street seem to tell stories of survival. As new perspectives on the city open up, one realizes that Lisbon is more than a simple collection of buildings and streets. It is a silent witness to the lives that inhabit it, a space that holds the echoes of what was and what will be. The city invites us to observe, to feel its history pulsing beneath our feet, to recognize that we are connected to it in a profound, almost spiritual way. If this place spoke to you, imagine how the lives of its inhabitants interweave with every brick of its buildings, every sound that resonates in the air. Remember that, Although time moves forward and things change, the essence of Lisbon endures. When walking through its streets, one does not only traverse a physical space, but rather immerses oneself in a sea of memories and emotions that make this city a unique place. Life in Lisbon in the 18th century not only feeds on the vibrant everyday life of its inhabitants, but is also imbued with a deep sense of spirituality and beliefs that permeate every corner of the city. In this context, the Catholic religion stands as the backbone of social life, but alongside it, superstitions and popular rituals add a layer of mystery and complexity to the daily experience. People walk through its streets with the weight of fear of the invisible, of death and punishment, seeking comfort in their beliefs, in the promise of divine protection that their faith offers them. The churches, with their imposing Baroque facades, are not simply places of worship, they are refuges where souls gather to share their concerns and longings. The bells ring, resonating in the air as a constant reminder of the fragility of life. Sunday Masses are a meeting point where the community unites, raising their voices in chants that intertwine with the aroma of incense, creating an atmosphere of transcendence. However, beyond formal devotion, superstitions slip into the everyday. Women, in particular, carry amulets and use rituals to ward off bad luck, such as lighting candles to the saints, or making offerings to the forces of nature. This search for the sacred reveals the connection between the material world and the spiritual, a thread that unites the inhabitants of Lisbon in their yearning to understand existence and their place in the vast universe. The streets of the city, therefore, are not only thoroughfares, they are sacred paths where every corner may hold a secret, every square may tell a story of hope or despair. As the city watches generations pass, one cannot help but reflect on the role it plays in collective memory. Lisbon is a mute witness to time, a place that has seen the arrival and departure of countless souls. The laughter of children playing in the squares intertwines with the laments of those who have gone, creating a symphony of life and death that resonates in the air. Every building, every alley, seems to have its own story to tell, an echo of what once was and what may still be. Eventually, the city has had to face moments of great adversity. Tragedies and catastrophes have left indelible marks on its essence. The memory of a devastating earthquake, which would change the face of the city forever, looms over Lisbon like an inescapable shadow. People live with the awareness that the earth can tremble beneath their feet at any moment, a constant reminder of the fragility of life. Despite this, the resilience of Lisbon's inhabitants is remarkable. Every crisis has been an opportunity to be reborn, to rebuild and move forward, reaffirming their love for the city they consider their home. The history of Lisbon is full of events that have marked its path. From the wars that have ravaged its territory to the epidemics that have claimed lives, every chapter of its narrative is woven with threads of suffering and hope. The stories of those who fought for freedom, as well as those of those who suffered in silence, are part of the fabric that composes the city's identity. The memories of resistance and overcoming are transmitted from generation to generation, strengthening the bond that unites Lisbon's inhabitants with their land. As one strolls through the cobbled streets, one can feel history pulsating beneath one's own feet. The ruins of houses that were once homes, the churches that survived nature's fury, and the monuments that commemorate significant events are vestiges of a past that still lives in the present. It is fascinating to think about how every corner of Lisbon is imbued with stories, as if the city itself were an open book waiting to be read. The present intertwines with the past in a way that is often not perceived. The tourists who walk through the same streets that were once trodden by historical figures are unaware that they are following in the footsteps of those who lived, loved, and fought in this city. Daily life unfolds in an endless cycle, where the old meets the new, where each day brings with it the possibility of rediscovering the history hidden in the most subtle details. Perhaps, when observing Lisbon, one wonders what remains when everything else passes. What is it that truly endures? Places, undoubtedly, hold memories, but they are also witnesses to the lives of those who inhabit them. The connection between people and their environment is profound, and in every return to a familiar place, there is a sense of coming home, a return to the roots that define us. The city, with its rich history and vibrant life, invites us to reflect on the legacy we leave behind and the impact we have on the world around us. Thus, when contemplating the streets of Lisbon, one cannot help but feel that history is still in progress. Perhaps history is still happening, perhaps every step we take in these streets is part of a narrative, in constant construction. The lives that interweave, the dreams that are forged, everything forms part of an eternal cycle where every individual has a role to play in the grand theater of life. As the light of day fades and the shadows begin to lengthen, Lisbon becomes a place of reflection. The beauty of its empty streets invites contemplation, and in the silence that takes hold of the city, one can hear the whisper of the stories that still await to be told. Perhaps the most powerful thing about Lisbon is its capacity to connect generations through time, reminding us that, although time moves forward and things change, the essence of this city endures, uniting all those who have had the privilege of walking through its streets.